takes one laugh. It only takes one conversation. Nearly 40 to 60% of people go untreated for tuberculosis and die. Tuberculosis is easy to catch and anyone can get it. Keep you and your family healthy by washing your hands, covering your mouth when you sneeze and cough. Avoid overcrowding. Visit your healthcare provider if you think you have been exposed to someone with tuberculosis. Don't get caught with tuberculosis. Stay healthy.
In other news, NBD has dropped their interest rate on vehicle loans to 7.5%.
Babe, turn up the volume on the radio.
The bank encourages customers to take advantage of this opportunity to get full financing on a vehicle with this low rate from now until May 15.
Did you hear that? 7.5% interest rate and full financing?
What's more, 3 lucky customers will get their vehicle license paid for up to 3 years. Visit a branch, call 255-2300 or go to nbdominica.com for more information and other terms and conditions.
Hun, I'm off to NBD.
Babe, wait for me.
Apply for your vehicle loan today. NBD, your partner, your bank.
You've got the edge over your circumstances. Many times there'll be trials to face. At least when it comes to your waiting finances. You've got the edge, help is coming your way. You've got big edge for those days when you're running low. Big edge is the place to go. Big edge, the cash can be in your hand. Big edge, with the easiest payment plan. Big edge, cash in a flash.
Welcome to Q95's Lunchtime News Update for today, Wednesday, March 22nd, 2017. Brought to you compliments Fresh Vitamins.
At Fresh Vitamins, we've got everything you need for health and well-being. We carry a wide range of all-natural sports nutrition and health supplements, plus gluten-free and organic foods, all from quality brands, including Solaray, Cal, Bob's Red Mill, Nature's Way, Source Naturals, and Designer Way. Fresh Vitamins has 2 convenient locations. We're at number 7, Great George Street, Roseau, and we're in Portsmouth, inside IGA Whitchurch Supermarket. Join our discount club and save up to 20% every day on your purchases. Like us on Facebook to stay informed about our products and specials. Come into Fresh Vitamins today and get healthy.
Welcome back. In local news, Dominica joins the rest of the world today in celebrating World Water Day, celebrated annually on March 22nd under the theme Water and Wastewater. The United Nations General Assembly designated March 22nd, 1993 as the first World Water Day to focus global attention on the importance of water and advocating for the sustainable management of water resources. Dominica's freshwater resources are utilized for a variety of reasons, including production of potable water, tourism development, hydroelectricity and industrial production, cultivation of crops, habitats for various species of wildlife, proper sanitation and hygiene. Hence the importance of preserving these resources for future generations. The Forestry, Wildlife and National Parks Division seeks to encourage the citizenry of Dominica to join the rest of the international community in observing World Water Day 2017. In other news, Tuesday's massive explosion in St. Lucia triggered the full mass casualty response from the Victoria Hospital as the casualties came streaming into the Accident and Emergency Department. A total of 15 patients presented at the hospital suffering from various injuries, with some requiring immediate surgical procedures. One patient succumbed to his injuries while others are stabilized. Additional nurses, doctors, ancillary and admin staff responded quickly to manage the injured, as well as the friends and family members who arrived on the scene. And a police officer has been stabbed in the House of Parliament in central London, Commons leader David Lidington has said. He told MPs the alleged assailant was shot by armed police following a serious incident. Staff inside Parliament were told to stay inside their offices. Scotland Yard said it was called to a firearms incident on Westminster Bridge amid reports of several people injured. Transport for London said Westminster Underground Station has been shut down at the police's request, and Mr. Lidington said it seems that a police officer has been stabbed and that the alleged assailant was shot by armed police. And this concludes your lunchtime news update, brought to you compliments Fresh Vitamins. I'm Linda Martin. Do join us again at 4 for the Prime Evening News Update. Good afternoon.
At Fresh Vitamins, we've got everything you need for health and well-being. We carry a wide range of all-natural sports nutrition and health supplements, plus gluten-free and organic foods, all from quality brands, including Solaray, Cal, Bob's Red Mill, Nature's Way, Source Naturals, and Designer Way. Fresh Vitamins has 2 convenient locations. We're at number 7, Great George Street, Roseau, and we're in Portsmouth, inside IGA Whitchurch Supermarket. Join our discount club and save up to 20% every day on your purchases. Like us on Facebook to stay informed about our products and specials. Come into Fresh Vitamins today and get healthy.
Juste un bébé. Mais dites-moi qui dirige ma vie, et surtout qui aujourd'hui a pu payer le prix d'une vie. Celle de mon tout petit qui aujourd'hui s'appelle le Rémi, qui s'est permis de vivre toujours dit on dit, à qui dois-je dire merci. Merci d'avoir détruit le sens de ma vie. Là j'accuse n'importe qui, ça soulage ma peine, ça m'éloigne de la haine. Son corps s'enchaîne de maille en maille. Son cœur à peine froissé se glace, un tout petit bébé. Je supplie le ciel de me dire ah oui, celui pour donner la vie, une dernière chance, je vous en prie. Bébé, vous êtes un bébé, tout petit bébé, on a son bébé, c'est mon rêve, l'infini, la douleur est infinie, surtout quand je n'ai pas saisi la chanson de ma vie, d'entendre juste un cri.
It's 6 past the hour of 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We're just about to getting set for Talk on the Block. Oh, we're hearing reports, and you heard it on the news earlier, of a major accident there in St. Lucia. An explosion. Several tons apparently of dynamite exploded. Several persons killed and others injured in St. Lucia. We're trying to make contact here with a correspondent out of St. Lucia.
Je veux briser les arrogances.
And as soon as we have that, we'll bring it for you.
On ne fait pas des enfants, choisissant pour eux éternellement. Je veux détruire les médisances, des familles que je à outrance. On ne fait pas des enfants, pourrissant leur vie éternellement. Je veux un bébé, je voudrais briser toutes ces mentalités.
Yes, indeed. It's just about 8 past the hour of 1 o'clock. We have an insert there from the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Mr. Alan Chastanet, talking about the explosion at the quarry there in St. Lucia. We've not been able to make contact with the correspondent, so we're going to go straight to this insert there from the Prime Minister of St. Lucia.
Details are still very, very sketchy at this point. There seems to be dynamite and also fertilizer in 2 containers, and somehow they got ignited. Unfortunately, it seems like 2 people have died, although that's the initial appraisal. They're still searching the area. And I'm just heading to the hospital now because my understanding is we have over 10 people in both VH and Tapion. So I'll be going to visit both hospitals right now to see the conditions of the individuals.
Sad situation.
Very, very, very sad situation. Whenever somebody loses their life working, and clearly that's something that is a hazard. But it's always very heartbreaking when it does happen. So while I don't know the names of the individuals as yet, my sympathies go to the family. It's a very tough situation.
Sir, Prajada, I suppose serious investigation for this?
Well, I think that we have to wait for that. Right now, the most important thing is to try to see what we can do to be able to take care of the people and actually investigate what's taking place and allow the policemen and the investigative officers to do their job.
What happened there is just that in my department, I just heard an explosion from my department, current went out, and then after that we heard the explosion. When you go and check, you see the next side over there just in smoke. Like, mostly it's just that's going on. A lot of close friends, a lot of co-workers, and a lot of people feeling sad that, some people lost their life there.
Yes, certainly a scene of horror and grief there in St. Lucia following last night this massive explosion. You heard the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Alan Chastanet, indicating that it appears that somehow fertilizers and as well as explosives became mixed. Dynamite explosives became mixed, and that was the source of the explosion.
Yeah, man. A lot of people end up dying. I almost lose my life in the same thing too. Yeah.
How do you think it happened?
How it happened? Well, guys started to weld on top of the container, and the container contained inside of it. You understand? Now I feel some sparks of the welding enter inside the container. It started the fire. That's how it happened. The noise is inside, and they still try to put the fire out. Now it's just coming from inside of the container. You understand what I'm telling you? I have the fire extinguisher in my hand to put out the fire, and a fat man I come and take that in my hand, and it just run out. We want to take 2 buckets of water. Check it. And once I take the 2 buckets of water, I explode. Boom. I explode. Boom. Sure will end up dying inside.
How many other people do you think got this?
Well, a lot of people get it in Martin. A lot of people, about 15 to 25 people get it in Martin.
How do you feel about that?
Feel now there?
Yeah.
I feel really lucky and bad at the same time.
Yeah.
You understand?
You think it was a part of...
Yes, indeed. You're listening there to some excerpts there from this recording there out of St. Lucia. Just a tremendous amount of suffering there. A number of family members gathering at local hospitals there, and it is really sad. It is really, really sad indeed to see what has happened. We are getting other reports though, and I tried very hard to contact the correspondent there in St. Lucia, but for some reason there's no response, so we're just going to move along. But we do have some more information that I would like to share with you that we're hearing that happened in terms of some of the casualties and some of the other information. So from what we're hearing now is that 4 individuals are confirmed dead in that explosion. 4 confirmed dead, 4 workers apparently. 3 of them were said to have died at the scene of the explosion, and 1 died en route to the hospital. We have 22 patients who've since been brought into the various area hospitals, including Victoria Hospital there in downtown Castries. And the varying degrees of injuries, 9 of them appear to have serious injuries, 5 are critical, and they're indicating that at least 4 of those 5 will be airlifted by military aircraft to Martinique. And we have at least 3 others who are in serious condition, and they're still missing 1 person. So it's a very serious situation there, a very serious and sad situation there in St. Lucia that we just thought we'd bring you up to date. It was announced on the news earlier, but in terms of giving you some more information, we're very sorry to hear of this accident there in St. Lucia that resulted in the deaths of at least 4 people, with 1 person still missing, and at least 4 critically ill people to be airlifted to Martinique for treatment, and some 22 other individuals who were injured on account of this explosion, which took place obviously during the work hour. A number of the workers were on site, some indicating that it could have been sparked by some welding that was going on close to the container that stored the dynamite and the fertilizers. This is a kind of a quarry site, a site where obviously they were doing excavations, so that's the reason why the dynamite was in that particular location. But it's very sad, and of course you heard the Prime Minister of St. Lucia announcing his condolences to the families, and there's a scene of chaos, a lot of crying, and of course obviously a number of people hurt and others fighting for their lives there in St. Lucia. Not a very good thing at all there. So that's the latest that we can tell you as far as what happened there in St. Lucia. We'll still try one more time to make contact with our contact there in St. Lucia, and if we don't, then we'll come right back to continue the discussion on Talk on the Block. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Doctor.
Yes, good afternoon.
I'm sorry to hear what happened in St. Lucia.
Yes, indeed. Very sad indeed.
But this morning, Joshua Francis was saying that Dominica is a Christian nation. You heard when he said that, right?
Yes,
I don't agree, I don't agree Dominica is a Christian nation. You know the amount of injustice and abuse that is going on in Dominica, and the so-called Christians remain silent. They never said a word. Right? And everybody saying they're Christian, The amount of abuse and injustice going on in the land, and people go to their church quietly and they go back at their homes. They remain silent. They say nothing. The amount of so-called Christians are deeply involved in politics. They are deeply involved but yet they go every Sunday, they dress and they go to church, and they claim to be a Christian, and they and they pretend they don't know anything else. They say that's a rumor. They don't know anything about it. The amount of injustice that's going on, and when you engage them in the discussions, they say, "Oh, that's just rumors on Q95." They don't know anything about that. So they're in a dream world, and people are being abused, and the so-called Christians are in a dream world. They don't know anything. They say that's just a rumor on Q95. Have a good day, sir.
Yes, indeed, and thank you very much. And another story we are following, we talked about it earlier this morning, but it has to do with the Police Welfare Association being summoned in front or before the Commissioner of Police, and we had a very interesting. What I'm going to try to get hold of Kalai, because I believe Kalai has an update on this. So I'm going to try to get hold of Kalai so that he can update us on exactly what went down this morning with regards to that particular meeting of the police officers there with the executive of the association, along with after being threatened with arrest for supposedly subversive activities. So a very unstable situation there, and a very interesting one at that. Let's try to make contact with Kalai as we continue here in the afternoon at 1:18. Okay, we're joined here at 19 past the hour by Kalai, journalist Kalai John Baptist, who has the latest. Kalai, good afternoon to you.
Hi, Thompson. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to your many listeners. What's up?
I'm doing well, and how have you been doing?
Good. On the hustle as usual, doing what I love doing, and continuing to do the usual.
Excellent. And I'm being told that you were able to get an update on the meeting that was called, actually not called, but we were told that the Commissioner of Police Carbon summoned the executive of the Police Welfare Association to a meeting this morning. Can you bring us up to speed as to what transpired?
Well, what would have transpired this morning is that the executive did attend the meeting, and however, they attended with a lawyer. They sought legal advice, and they were represented at the meeting by a prominent Dominican attorney. The meeting lasted just about 15 minutes. It's to say to you that the Chief of Police was very cordial. He was accompanied by a few senior officers, among them Superintendent Coffey, Assistant Superintendent Acting Lincoln Cobbett, and Antonio Moses, Inspector of Police, and a few other senior police officers. And they went to the meeting. The commissioner at first was not very welcoming. He was not in agreement to have the lawyer come on behalf of the Police Welfare Association. But of course, given the adverse comments which has been made about the police officers, he was left with no choice but to ensure that the lawyer attended the meeting. And they had a brief exchange, and at the end, he asked that everybody work in a cordial relationship, very, very cordial relationship. He asked for that. The meeting lasted, like I said, 15 minutes, just about 15 minutes. And that was the end of the meeting, Thompson.
Wow, interesting. But we also been told that the executive expressed some of the concerns that they've been having with regards to promotions, in particular within the police force.
They were not able to do that.
Oh, they were not able to. Okay.
No, they were not able to do that. Basically, they asked because the chief of police was not very happy with the lawyer. And the lawyer said, look, I have been retained, and some very, very serious allegations have been made against officers. We are asking that you bring forth the evidence, and that is what I am here for. And so the lawyer was there, made his notes, and the police officer, the police chief, made no mention of anything. All he asked that they work in a cordial relationship, and any difficulties convey that to the chief of police. And that was basically the end of the meeting.
But Kalai, let me understand this. I thought there were statements attributed to the commissioner where he says that he was willing to arrest police officers. Wasn't that a quote from the commissioner?
Yes. However, I guess because of the advent of the lawyer, the commissioner seemed to have basically backed down on whatever his threats were and whatever his comments were. And so he basically backed down and just basically asked that everyone work in a cordial relationship for the betterment, the advancement of the Dominica Police Force. And that was it. So
Are we to assume that is the end of the matter?
Not at all. My understanding is that very soon there is going to be some sort of a press briefing by the executive of the Police Welfare Association. They are also to meet their membership sometime during the course of this week. I'm not sure exactly when that will be done, but I'm aware that they have summoned the meeting, and I expected to meet with the membership of the Police Welfare Association to brief them up, to bring them up to speed with what would have transpired, given the volatile situation that now exists within the rank and file of the police force as it relates to those comments which have been made by the chief, and of course, because the chief is also stating that he's intelligent, and they want to find out who the intelligence are, and the sort of comments that are being made by those chief regard as his intelligence.
You know, Kala, the way I say it, I mean, if the commissioner was so moved to make those statements, he must have believed the intelligence, and then to make such a very serious allegation against your rank and file, and then to suddenly turn back and almost swallow it without an apology, without explaining to the officers exactly what went down. I don't think that lends itself to good relations going forward between the top brass of the police force and the rank and file soldiers there, or police.
Something I totally agree with you. My information is that they are, during the press briefing, they are expected to ask for an apology from the chief and a retraction. That is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think it's only fair because, I mean, these are very serious allegations that were made. You're not talking about somebody accused of probably not investigating a crime. You're talking about a very serious allegation, subversion, when police officers are there to serve. And if they're accused of doing anything but serving or even subversion, one is not sure exactly the extent of that, of what the intelligence picked up, quote unquote intelligence. But Kala, I can tell you, if this is the same intelligence that said that Thompson Fontaine was involved in the coup, then the commissioner should be guided to really stay clear of that.
Well, in fact, it is the same set of intelligence, the same officers who have been providing intelligence to the chief, and clearly they are being he's been misguided as to what they say to him, because I mean they've led him on a wild goose chase, speaking about attempted coup, and I don't know where is the attempted coup and that sort of thing. So those are the same officers, and these are top brass officers within the rank and file. They call them spies, and interesting, Thompson. The police officers, they have a group chat, and whatever they have been speaking about on the group chat, they are aware that there is somebody who is spying. So they have been saying things so the individual can go and report back, and the individual was caught.
Oh boy, very interesting days, very interesting. But Kala, we've also been hearing that the Wi-Fi service within the police station was caught. Do you have any information on this?
What I know though is that as it relates to communication, for example, at police headquarters, when you're inside there, you cannot get if you're on the computers, you cannot get CQ95 and so on and so on and so forth. So there are radio stations you don't have access to. So they've removed access to certain outside agencies once you're within the precincts of police headquarters. That I am very much aware of.
Wow, very, very interesting indeed. Well, Kala, thank you very much for this update there. Very interesting times here in Dominica.
Yes. Take care, Thompson.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Okay. Yes, there you have it. Kala reporting, giving us an update on the latest saga as it relates to coups and attempted coups in this blessed island of ours. Let's go to the telephones with your calls at 27 past the hour of 1 o'clock. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Dr. Thompson.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm listening to all this there, and trust me, this doesn't make sense, In terms of these grown police officers, they are not children, and they cannot be treated in that way in terms of you cutting off communications, telling what station to listen to, the allegations the chief of police made yesterday, and today you're just holding back. If your intelligence tells you something, you have to stick with what your intelligence says. And to me, this shows a level of incompetence by this guy. I mean, I've never had confidence in him from day one. And I think honestly, I call him dumb carbon. He shows that he's very dumb. And he needs to come out. He needs to be out of that position because he will ruin the police department. He already started doing that. He will continue to do that if he stays in that position because he's not doing any good. I mean, the guy has created a division since he went into that position, and I know that for a fact because I'm speaking to many police officers, and you can tell that there is a tension there and there's a division there. So how can you go forward and to work in unity if there's a division? There's a big problem in the police department, and one of the biggest problems is dumb carbon at the end. You cannot have him as chief of police. He's manipulated by Blackmore, which is another name Kampoop. You cannot have these guys running the police department. And that is my opinion. And I'm seeing it for what it is. I'm hearing from officers, and we're hearing what's going on. You hear guns coming in, and they go in and pick it up. No case. You don't hear anything. No investigations on Gun Emmanuel. Because what? When Carbon came in, you heard Carbon say the Gun Emmanuel case will be investigated, you know. And you're not hearing anything about that. This guy needs to be out of that position. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, caller, for this. As we continue, 29 past the hour. Just to let you know, we are being told very quickly that Dominica has imposed a ban on meat imports from Brazil. There have been some concern, and several countries, we know in Europe, for example, have imposed ban on beef, in particular coming from Brazil. In some cases, they have been pulling corned beef off shelves. I'm not sure the extent to which this is going to go in Dominica, but the allegation there is that a lot of the meat that was being sold from some companies there in Brazil was the meat was not good. It was either rotted meat or it was meat that was contaminated. And the federal authorities in Brazil, they moved against several meat packaging companies there in Brazil. And because of that raid, or because of those raids there in Brazil, a number of Western countries pulled those imports from the shelves. We know, for example, in the United Kingdom, they went to every shop that had Brazil corned beef and pulled it off the shelves. And now we're being told that Dominica is following suit, and Dominica has imposed a ban on meat imports. We have a very short insert for you that we're going to play for your information.
The veterinary unit in the Ministry of Agriculture and the Customs and Excise Department has come to the conclusion that there will be in effect an immediate ban on corned beef coming from Brazil.
All right, so here you have it. Apparently, the ban is not on meat products per se, but on corned beef. Corned beef. As you know, Brazil is one of the largest producers of beef, one of the largest producers of corned beef, and we're being told that now in Dominica, the ban is now in place for Dominica. Let's go back to the telephones. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Fountain.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
I'm speaking from Laughlin.
Okay.
Let me say, our Minister Peter Sergeant, when he becomes in office, there was Balizi Road going towards the waterfall, and you could drive to it right by it to Clive, which is the grandfather of his wife. And today, he cannot walk to go to that area, much less to go down to the river. I am asking Peter, the Minister of Education, if all the money that is pouring down in Laughlin, that piece of road, please fix it up for Laughlin.
All right, thank you. Yes, caller, go ahead. Okay, thank you very much, caller, for this. You're certainly calling for your pal rep to do some work there on this road there in Laughlin. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Thompson.
Yes, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Not bad, not bad. It's an interesting twist in the police force, Thompson.
Yes, very, very interesting indeed. And one wonders exactly what is going on there.
But I remember in the days of the last commissioner, Carrot. I used to call on Carrot and tell him, you've been bringing this police force to its knees. And it's a rogue state you're trying to develop in Dominica. And you see, he left the police force, he went to America, and he left us in our mess. It's like, if we don't look for ourselves in this country, nobody's going to look for us, Thompson. Roosevelt Skerrit will leave power, he will go to France. He will go to America, he'll go to wherever he has to go, to the Middle East, wherever, for his millions. So I want to urge the police officers, do not be deterred. Do not allow Carbon, Roosevelt Skerrit, Valerie, and Rayburn Blackmore to frustrate you all. Do not allow politicians, whether opposition, whether government, to influence you all. Whatever actions you take, do not make it actions on behalf of Carbon, Rayburn Blackmore, Roosevelt Skerrit, or even Lennox Linton. make sure you put Dominica first. Because at this stage, bossman, it doesn't augur well. It seems like the politicians have their hands directly in the police force. When a commissioner and a deputy commissioner can stand up or spread information that is alleged that there's an act of subversion taking place in the police force, this crime is punishable by it's considered treason, boss. Punishable by death. You know that, Thompson?
Yes, that's correct.
And I mean, for us to today just see that going down flat is an intimidation tactic which even the commissioner is now involved in, trying to create fear in the police force because he maybe feels that the police officers may stand up for their salaries because ministers living lavishly, having several vehicles, having tilted vehicles parked at other people home that their wife don't know is their vehicle. We know that. You know, we know there's a vehicle parked in Kenfield. In Kenfield, which belongs to a minister. And his friends hold it for him. His friend holds it for him to be able to go and run around and do his crime. So I'm saying, bossman, we need to stand up with the police. We need to give them every support they need. The lawyers that are available in this country must help them, show them their rights, and they must stand up against crime. Stand up against the fact that one set can survive in this country and demand their salary and demand it now. Do not allow no one-man show. That nonsense intelligence that Carbon and them talking about every day with the same Leon and the others. These people are not doing any intelligence. They're picking up information from people who carry Beth to ministers. You know what I'm saying, Thompson?
Yes,
Look
yes.
at, people like you that have your work to do was arrested by the police for no reason at all.
Absolutely none. Not a shred of evidence.
Nonsense intelligent Carbon pick up from Roosevelt Skerrit and the others. When is that going to stop? When is Carbon going to take his police force? When you have people like that little boy from Daily Seas, made an inspector head of drug squad, Hillier. These people are picking up intelligence. People that can hardly write or read. I mean, come on, man. When is that police force going to take its stand and decide, look, boss, I am competent Carbon. We knew Carbon to be one of the most competent police officers at one time in terms of investigation and prosecution. We know he still have it somewhere in him. But when you're allowing politicians to manipulate all your actions, this country can't go nowhere. Roosevelt Skerrit using that to distract people, the Manfred issues. The issues out there with Dominican diplomatic passport in the hands of criminals. Every day he can create a little problem, a stone on the ground, for us to be unmatched. Distracted with that, instead of dealing with the Roosevelt Skerrit administration and the corruption within government and the number of diplomatic passports and CBI crime not taking place. The fact that even after Sam Raphael did not pay for the number of passports he built Jungle Bay with, he continued to get passports to sell. When we have people like Nassif, what is the name of that Nassif guy in Portsmouth?
With Secret Bay?
Secret Bay, who came on the media attacking Lennox Clinton. He went to sleep now. Luke Manfred was arrested again for diplomatic passport. But he said if he can see where they sell diplomatic, why would you be giving only criminals diplomatic passport? Why everybody that come, they hold it a diplomatic, as a criminal from Dominica, is a diplomatic passport they hold in. Bossman, these people will do anything to distract us, to stay in power, and I call in on Dominicans. Even the Laborites seeing it now. Laborites decide they're not putting themselves out for Roosevelt Skerrit like they used to before. And no amount of money he share. Before you never heard of CBI money, boss? CBI money was never sharing.
Was never shared. That's correct.
When you hear Alec going to build a hotel, don't expect any hotel to build. Do not expect any hotel to build. This guy's using an agenda to bring money in, and they will do anything. No hotel is going to build. Mark my word, Thompson. We're going to see money siphoned from the CBI until you all guys decide enough is enough. And we're stepping up the fight against Roosevelt Skerrit to see Roosevelt Skerrit fall. I want to urge the police officers, when we stay there fighting and doing our nonsense Carbon, when an administration change, clearly you know that there's going to be an inquiry into the police force. You know what is going to happen. So you must ensure that you stand clear, boss man. Stay clear, keep your heads up. You don't seem to be a man that's looking for the little peanuts here and the peanuts there, but you're heavily influenced. And you have to stand up today, stand up now, to prevent yourself from going down when an inquiry is launched into the police force. Because the inquiry will go there as well, not just into the ministers. There will be an inquiry into the police force, boss. And you have to ensure that you put your police force straight. Go back and reconcile with your police officers. Apologize to them, call them together, work towards their betterment. You should have welfare in your corner. Looking for the interests of the police officers and not intimidating Drago. If you give him corporal, he'll turn turtle on you. And you know what, that kind of nonsense? A man like Drago have worked in that police force should be a sergeant today. You have him there on a leash. He's even scared to take action. Because he's looking for his liquor promotion to have all liquor boys have promotion. This is what the police force is good at, Thompson. Have people out there looking for promotion, dangle it in their face, pull it back. But I observe the police force, fellas have decided it's the same salary, it's just the stripe you have on your shoulder. I believe they're ready to say enough is enough. And I want you, Thompson, and the rest of the Dominican people to give the police their venue to vent their frustration. Give them the support they deserve. Give them the advice. And we must end up seeing a good police force. That's how we're going to have a good Dominica. That's my contribution today, boss.
And we thank you very much for it. A very good and solid one indeed. Thanks so much. Let's take some other telephone calls. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Dr. Fontaine.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, Dr. Fontaine, I think the situation...
Could you lower your radio, please? Because it's echoing. Yes, thank you so much.
I think the situation facing Dominica today is very serious. The police is responsible not only for internal security, but for external security. And for the Commissioner of Police not to have the respect of the rank and file of the police department is damning. But we have seen over the past months and years that Daniel Carbon is an acolyte of the Labour Party and not an acolyte of the Constitution. The same way Roosevelt Skerrit is not running the country as a government, but as a political organization where he has become a satellite of Communist China and a satellite of Iran. This is serious business. We need to make Daniel Carbon understand that he has to understand is a police department he's running and not a political organization. We saw in 2014, under the supervision and control of Roosevelt Skerrit, Daniel Carbon sent dozens of heavily armed police to protect illegal voters at the Mendenhall Airport. If Daniel Carbon cannot manage his police, I don't think he will be able to manage that in the future. Daniel Carbon needs to step aside. If he feels, because he is a vacant man and Roosevelt Skerrit is a vacant man, Roosevelt Skerrit is using and abusing him and he cannot manage to do his work efficiently, he needs to step aside. We need to take control of this country. Who need to step aside? Let them do so. But we cannot continue as that. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much indeed. You know, and I'm getting some very disturbing reports there as well from within the government service. We have an individual, the head of the ICT department in the ministry, I am told, a certain Jermaine Jean-Pierre, who is apparently forwarding government political announcements, Labour Party announcements to all public servants. I'm not sure why this public servant is doing this. If you're going to be sending announcements of the Labour Party activity to the public servants, then you must, as a matter of course, you must also send announcements of the United Workers' Party. Right, so people, public servants, stop abusing your authority, stop abusing your positions. And Ms. Jean-Pierre, if you're doing this, and you are, because people have received from you as the head of the ICT, have received these communications of the Dominica Labour Party, it's only fair that you include, next time, you include the United Workers' Party's communications. Or if you're not going to do it for United Workers' Party, then simply don't do it. You cannot be doing this. You need to separate the Dominica Labour Party and the government of Dominica. It is not the same thing. The Labour Party will come and go. The government of Dominica will remain forever. So please, public servants, you need to be able to separate your politics out of doing the public's work. And it is not fair, it is not right that this lady, Ms. Jean-Pierre, should be doing this, sending these announcements of political activities to individuals, to all, mass mailing to public servants. It's not right. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Go ahead, please. Hello, good afternoon.
Thompson Fontaine, good afternoon to you.
Yes, sure, good afternoon.
Hilary Shillingford, you're damn well right. You hit the nail right on the head. We have to stand with the police officers. They are our brothers and they are our sisters in spite of what it is. They are Dominican. They understand the frustration. They feel the pain too. When they are hearing of passport selling, diplomatic passport selling to crooks and criminals all over the world, they know Monfares was in Dominica. They know Monfares was hiding in Mont Daniel. They know Roosevelt Skerrit associate himself with Monfares. They're hearing of millions and billions all over, but yet zero, zero, zero for them. They have families, they have mothers, they have fathers, they have wives, some of them, they have girlfriends, they have responsibility. When they see those things happening in Dominica, and zero, zero, zero for them. When the opposition call demonstration or the opposition call a march, and they have to go out there in camouflage uniform in that hot sun to stand up there throughout the day, they understand the pain. So we have to stand with our police officers. We have to stand with them, and we stand with them. We really stand with them.
Yes, indeed.
And we have to say enough is enough. And the police officers, every one of them should come out. Everyone, because they have a program talking about on the beat. You have to have confidence in the police and you have to work with them. But when you see, for example, look at Cleville Mills, who have been calling the radio as a public officer, calling the radio to defend corruption of the Labour Party. He has never once called by the commissioner or the deputy and stop him, where other police officers cannot call the radio station. Is that justice? Is that fair?
Yes, indeed.
Look at Gon Emmanuel, the fire bombing of his home, who had been waiting there for the longest while, languishing, cannot get justice. Is that fair? It is not fair. So sometimes we hear people say, oh, it's good for the police officers. They are the same ones that was going out behind us. No. Let us welcome them. Let us stand with them. Let us support them. Because to every road, there is a bend, and to every rope, there is an end. Let's carry spend money. His time is coming because Monfend, we are going to show the rest of the world how much we are determined to root out Roosevelt Skerrit and the Dominican Labour Party. So let him go around spending our money. You cannot take our passport money to pay public officers. You cannot fix our road. You cannot put things at the Princess Margaret Hospital for us. But you can use our passport money to give us volley. We will see who can give volley and who cannot give volley this month, friend. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Let's take some more of your calls. And callers, if you can keep it nice and short so that we can get as many callers in as possible. Good afternoon.
Dr. Thompson Fountain and the listening public, a blessed and peaceful afternoon. Dominicans, united we stand and divided we fall. I think we are in the right place at the right time. Right now, it's not about the opposition. It's about the four cardinal points of Dominica, because each and everybody feeling a pinch of the squeeze now. Rise up, wise up, and it's not now the police should stand against that carbon. From since they start doing that foolishness, the government, they should rise up against him. But the time is now, and the time is now. Beat the iron while it is hot. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. Let's take more of your calls. Good afternoon.
Blessings to you quickly.
Yes, blessings.
I just wanted to say, people may be a little bit confused and wondering what's up. I am not no law personnel and not versed in constitution and law. I am a lawless person, just like Roosevelt Skerrit. But if you have that, when it comes to subversion, as Hillary said, that's treasonous. That's treasonous. So you do your investigation and you arrest everybody. But for you to be on radio or making public people know oh, look, police officers trying, and you have, you say your nature, tourism is everybody's business. Every other industry collapse, and then it's all tourism we depend in. Why you want to have them kind of scare tactics there? Just to deflect attention from the monster you have created. It cannot be deflected. People cannot be distracted from that. So I'm telling people that all this is just smoke screen and smoke and mirrors. You see, like what they say about the coup for the truck and speakers and people with no guns and nothing. That is what it is. These madmen, particularly Roosevelt Skerrit. And in closing, Doc, I really want, if there is some part in the Constitution, some clause that can have a leader disclose his mental record. Let us see who was your psychiatrist in Dominica. Now you have millions, you may be going elsewhere and take your treatment. Blessings.
All right, thank you very much, caller. Let's go to this telephone. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk on the Block. It's 11 before the hour of 2 o'clock. We have very little time left.
Hey, Thompson.
Yes.
Daniel.
Hi, how are you doing? All right, doing good.
Listen, I'm looking at an article that I wrote on your website back on July 2002. The topic is the Patterson Police Department, right? That was back in 2002. We were talking about when Mr. Blanchard and Mr. Valerie were dismissed in the interest of the country, and Chief Lestrade came in. But I think we've moved so far beyond that. So I just want to say one thing. It is a partisan police department, so which means that it assists a police department. It's really the military wing of the Labour Party government right now. So I'm not sure what that means. What that means is very, very, very bad. And I don't know. I think, to get the right policies in place, you need the right politics. So I think really all Dominicans should really put their hands together, work together to defeat Roosevelt Skerrit. Otherwise, all this nonsense will keep on happening. If we don't do that, we're still going to have all this acrimony in all sectors of the society. So really, to get the right policies, you need the right politics, and you know what politics we have right now. So really, I think, we can talk, we can scream, we can jump, we can somersault, but the issue here is that if you don't have Roosevelt Skerrit out of office, all this nonsense is going to happen, and they're going to have a democratic government. And when this holds over people in trouble, democracy is in trouble. I think our democracy is in real trouble right now. So I think it can come out of everybody who loves Dominica, who Dominicans have had to really put themselves together, give money, organize, mobilize to defeat Roosevelt Skerrit. Otherwise, if what Carbon is doing and his crew and Valerie, they're just getting instructions from Skerrit. These are good people who have just been tinted. What this guy in Lappin did, let me just put a disclaimer. The Latin I came from is not the Latin of Peter Singer or Warren Coffee. I want to make it fundamentally clear. That's not the Latin. It's not the Latin of Pierre Collier. So I don't know which Latin this is. I just wanted to say that. So if you don't defeat Roosevelt Skerrit and his crew and his gang, this same nonsense is going to happen. So really, let's just conserve our energy and try to defeat the guy. Otherwise, this nonsense will continue to happen.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Dr. Finn. We appreciate the input there. Thanks a lot. Okay, thanks a lot. It's 8 before 2. We wanted to get as many people in as possible this afternoon and talk on the block. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes,
Doc, I'm not diverting your program, but I ask you, if you are aware that right now there's an attack on the Westminster in England.
Oh yes, we heard about that. But is it there was an attack? We are told that some police officer was stabbed and yes, and they shot the attacker. That is correct. Yes.
Because look right now, they're saying at least 10 injured people treated by ambulance staff.
Okay. So more people were obviously hurt by this intruder.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much for telling us. Yes, thank you. It's 7 before the hour of 2. We're at 2 o'clock. Is the Digicel hour. Good afternoon. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes, go ahead, please. Good afternoon.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, Dr. Fountain.
Yes.
Dr. Fountain, we're listening out in the diaspora, and it seems that the situation is unraveling in Dominica. one accusation from the next. We have seen this situation unfolding with the police, and I think this is a way to distract the people. If you can trust your police, who else are you going to trust? I think it is time for Roosevelt Skerrit to go, because this is just simply paranoia. And it has been displayed in such openness and such disgrace that we can't allow something like that to happen in Dominica. This man has changed the whole dynamics of politics. The legacy of the Labour Party, we don't see it. He has destroyed it. Right now, Dominica is a wealthy state. Dominica is a disgraced state. It is a lawless state. We looked in and we saw that situation unfolding in La Plaine, where this man, after he was beaten, after he was abducted, he got to receive a house, and that was in payment for the criminal act that was launched against him. And not from Peter Sejo's pocket, but from the state's pocket. He was being compensated in the open. What's going on with that? Why are Dominicans demonstrating against that nonsense? I think Dominicans are partly responsible for having the state of, in which Dominica stands today, because they just have accepted too much nonsense. These people should have been in the streets. They should have been sending that unanimous message. They should be sending that message of strength, of unity, that Roosevelt Skerrit must go. It's not about electoral reform. It's like having an abusive man in your house and telling him he has to go. But you look around and you say, oh, wait a minute, you have to fix the roof before you leave. By the time this roof is fixed, you are pregnant. So he can't go because there's another kid to take you off. Right now, it's not about twisting the message or topsy-turvy on the message. The message should be Roosevelt Skerrit must go. You want political reform, political reform. You want, why? Ask the man to leave. That is the message we are sending, a resounding message to tell this man to get the hell out, because Roosevelt Skerrit is not in fixing anything with legitimacy. He's not needed to fix any electoral reform right now because he has failed. They have given the opportunity. Right now, the message is for Roosevelt Skerrit to leave us alone. Get out. Go. After he's gone, we will fix everything that is supposed to be fixed. But we cannot be twisting, meandering over there, down there, and over there. We have seen Dominica is in a deplorable state. Everything has gone downhill. We have seen Dominicans become more dependent. Right now, they're not even sure when they're right or when they're wrong. They're not even sure what their rights are, because apparently the law and the system have failed the Dominican people. They have failed the Dominican people, because right now, any act of violence and any criminal act can be instituted against them, and they have set it because I don't know, maybe something they're giving them to drink in the water. Maybe the Chinese have poisoned the minds of Dominicans. Maybe they have given them some kind of tea to drink that they can no longer think straight. They no longer know what they want for themselves. It's all about what these Labour Party cohorts and their cronies come across to them and offer them. I mean, you can't be like that. You have to stand up. You have to send a resounding message. You have to say on cue. You have to tell Roosevelt Skerrit to leave. Demonstrate. Leave. Get out. Go. It's time to pack up and go. That's all we want to hear right now. Give us the demonstration at the end of the month. The people stay in the street. The people send that resounding message. Roosevelt Skerrit must go. Just get the hell out. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye. Thank you. Thank you very much, caller, for saying it so well. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Caller, go ahead, please. You have just about a minute. Okay, let's take this final caller. You have about a minute, caller. Good afternoon.
Mr. Vongton, in my minute, thanks for taking my call. No amount of diversionary tactic from Roosevelt Skerrit and this regime will stop the patriotic Dominicans for calling on the resignation of Roosevelt Skerrit and for the entire regime to go. And let me make it clear to Peter Seja, the cardinal sin that was perpetrated against this gentleman or these gentlemen from La Plaine, my brother, giving this man a so-called dashing house, it will not go away. We will stand and demand Peter Saint-Jean himself go because of that atrocious act, my brother. Thanks for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. And indeed, we have come to the end of another edition of the Hot Seat. We'll be back on your radio tomorrow morning at the same time for another edition of the Hot Seat. But before that, join me tomorrow from 8 o'clock for more talk on Matt in the Morning. As we continue, stay tuned for the Digicel Hour and stay tuned to the big station Q95 and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.